Just.
Here because I will demonstrate what I'm talking about when I say inside and outside rolls, right? So unnecessary movements and just toning down the unnecessary movements is going to help you in the long run, right? So if we make an effective movement, the shortest possible turn towards my target, right? And we go into our little corkscrew pattern here, bang, 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 bang. Good. So this is an inside roll. I'm rolling inside his movement here. So I'm rolling to the right here. So if I were to roll outside and to the left, that would pull me away from my target, and I don't want that. I always want to roll into my target to the right. So if I want to evade him, I roll into him to the right here because we're orbiting him in a clockwise fashion, right? So if I did an outside roll, it's away from him here. That's an outside roll. So I have more distance. But if I want to get closer to him, I inside roll on him here. So I inside roll here. So I keep the distance I want on him. And I can keep on moving in on my target. Again, right? Inside roll to the right. And if I want to do an outside roll here, see how he's moving to my screen on the left? That's an outside roll here. See how we're farther away. Okay, and I had to turn longer to get myself back on target. That is the difference between an inside closing roll and an outside extending roll, right?
Okay, so let's look at this again, and this time we're going to slow it down. So, as I was talking about when it comes to inside and outside rolls, right? It's completely dependent on the orbital direction the fight is happening in. Okay? So, excuse me. So, let's watch carefully. And you'll notice that right now, if you were to take a snapshot of our fight, we're orbiting each other in a clockwise pattern. Okay? I am orbiting his 12 o'clock to 6, then back to 6. Sorry, back to 12, right? I'm orbiting in a clockwise right-handed motion. So if I want to continue to close the distance against him, I need to roll to the right here to create more lift from my bottom axis here to continue to close the distance against him because we're moving in a clockwise pattern. Okay? Now, if I were to reverse this, like here, you'll notice that the fight reverses direction, like how we were talking about on a previous video. However, you'll notice that I'm farther away from my opponent. Now I go back into a right-handed roll. You'll notice that I put a little push with forward throttle, and I'm already back at the distance that I kind of want to sit at, right? Again, right? I might be doing some down strafe here or some left strafe to continue my orbital pattern against my opponent, while still mixing in occasional times where I turn. Like right here is hard up strafe, turning into a reverse shot as I flip the fight the other way. You'll notice there that I had to track my nose longer to get back on target because the direction of his orbital pattern was the same direction that I was now having to cross the distance again. So watch this. Okay, so right here, we're back into our clockwise roll. My bottom thrusters are pushing myself to the target. But you'll see here, I just flipped the fight. I flipped the fight. So let's see that one maneuver one more time. The point I'm trying to drive home here is while I would have made it a shorter, less difficult time in an inside roll, let's say for some reason I wanted to reduce the distance, right? What I can do is I can roll over the other direction, but see how my pip is tracking the direction that he is rolling. So I now, if I'm turning at, let's say 55 degrees per second, but he's also sliding across my screen at 20 degrees per second, you know, you take the 55 minus the 20, you get the difference is 35, right? So you get 35 degrees per second until you're back on target. Whereas if I were to make a right-handed roll, I'm not only rating at my highest rate, but it's also a closer turn. So the degrees I have to get onto my target are less. Okay? That's the big difference between an inside and an outside roll. And it all depends on the momentum direction or orbital pattern that each fighter is engaged in. So if you're in a clockwise pattern, right-handed inside rolls. If you're in a counterclockwise pattern, left roll, left up strafe into a left-handed inside roll. Now, if I were to do a left-handed turn and roll, when I'm orbiting to the right, Now that would be an outside roll, and I would extend the fight unnecessarily unless that's exactly what I was trying to do. These are small little ways, guys, of adding a lot more depth to your gameplay. It's not just a whole bunch of rolling around for no reason. There's a method to why I roll the way I do, and also in case I have to extend or get the fight closer. And it's all down to meters. You know, I might push a left-handed roll and extend about 100 meters, which is what I'm looking for. I might pull a little closer with a right-handed roll. So ships like the Gladius are very right-hand roll or left-hand inside roll dominant because they have the highest rate out of all the light fighters. So if you're going to fight in a Gladius, you want to get as close to your opponent as you can. So you're mostly going to be doing inside rolls. If you're in an Arrow, you typically sometimes are going to want to throw in some outside rolls because you want to keep your distance. You want to kind of watch your target because your rate is lower than the Gladius. So getting into a knife fight with a Gladius is actually putting the Arrow at a disadvantage. Plus, if it's profile and it's single size 1 shield, she's definitely up against the wall, right? So your optimal situation in an Arrow is to be doing the occasional outside roll, separating the distance, trying to feed as many shots into the Gladius that's approaching onto you as you can, using your small profile to kind of punish as you continue on, right? But these are small little dynamical things that you have to learn as you master each of your fighters. And, you know, sometimes I'm sure when people are watching stream, there's a lot of stuff going on that maybe they're not picking up on. But as you watch this series and as you watch all these videos, it'll start making more sense, right? And I wanted to make this video kind of explaining the depth that the inside and the outside rolls can give you, and it's something so trivial that we all do, and it's just like, oh man, like I didn't even think of it like that, right? It's like when you're watching Formula One, you know, everyone holds the race line, which is the inside turn, right? But every once in a while, you might want to swing outside for a pass, right? So it's all little tools in the toolbox, and I'm big on explaining tools in the toolbox. I want you guys to have a big repertoire of options available to you so that at any point during the fight you can break these tools out and use them to your advantage and get the win, because that's all it is. If you're proficient at one thing and only that one thing, you're going to be deficient in other areas like your extensions, you're going to be deficient in your energy management, you're going to be deficient in your gunnery. So it's important that you train all the different aspects and have fun doing it, right? All right, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for watching the video. This was today's daily video. I hope you had some fun. I hope you learned something. I hope to see all you folks out for stream. You guys know the spiel. Take a look at Predator mounts if you're interested in getting a Predator mount system for your joysticks. Use the code Avenger1 if you're interested in getting a discount. And I hope to see all you guys out for the next video and the next stream. I was Avenger1, and I'll see you next time.